It's Tennessee. Is there anything else that needs to be said?
That's interesting you say that. The thing that I've appreciated about this team is really the most important game on our schedule is the one we're playing at that time. And they really haven't put any more or less value on each game. And that's hard to get 18 to 24-year-olds to do, as you know. But they have really done an amazing job of just focusing on the task at hand, whether that be practice today, whether that be games, whether it's finish up strong in their finals, it doesn't matter. So, for them, I just appreciate the way they've gone about every game. And I think if you watched our team play, you would think that they were treating that game like a College World Series game, regardless of the opponent. So we need them to do the same thing again.
Does that become harder at this point in the year when we're talking about SEC championships and national seeds and hosting regionals and all those things are so close that are ahead of you not to look ahead?
Yeah, and I think that's where my job as one of the coaches and our job as a staff is just to not allow them to do that. And they haven't done that. We talk about our wins expiring at midnight. They haven't done that, so that part, do I think we'll have to address it more? I do. And the reason why is because of you guys. Right? Like, you guys are going to be the ones talking about that stuff, right? And that's your job, and you should do that. And that's, what you're supposed to be doing. And that's what we hope you're doing. That means we're doing our job, right? So our job is to do that on the field, and then it's your guys' job to talk about what's at stake. And, so for us to be at our best, again, I have to do a good job with them, keeping them focused. And I don't see that we would have any issue with that because of how well they've done about it thus far.
Do you have an update on Devin after he left early on Tuesday?
Yeah, so it is his hamstring, and he had a great day of rehab yesterday. We're evaluating him again today, and I know Devin, he's going to try to get in there this weekend. And but so we'll, much like the races that are going on in Keeneland, there might be a time where we got to hold back, the rain some. But we'll have some more information on him, hopefully by tomorrow morning, early afternoon. But he's convinced he's going to be in there, but I'll just say we'll see. Right.
So he avoided anything serious?
Yes, it could have been a lot worse. I'll just say that. Yeah.
His presence in the dugout, though, should probably be palpable, right?
Yeah, I give him so much credit. I met with him this morning, and we do spend a lot of time together. There's not a day that he doesn't swing by. When he comes to his facility, he makes sure he says hi to everybody. Like, I mean everybody. Like coaches, trainers, student managers. He's just, his presence, as you guys know, just lights up the room. And so this is a guy who, he was upset. He was upset Tuesday night, and went in there and just challenged him to kind of compose himself and to get back in that dugout. And man, before long, he is like, "Coach, get on the radio, like tell him," and he is just running the show from the dugout. So he will certainly do that. And his presence, whether he's on the field or in the dugout, I think you guys know this, he's going to make a major impact.
Does it ever creep in your brain like, I should have sent him there at round third? I know.
Oh no. And I think you guys know this as coaches. Our job is to put our players in positions, and players play, and coaches coach, and umpires umpire. And but no, it was a base hit. There's 2 outs. We crushed it. We needed to run. I mean, so yes. Now, if he does get in the game and there is some soreness there, then yes. But there was nothing there, So that's how we play. We attack, and we're aggressive. And I mean, the guy got hurt because he gave us everything he has. That's what Devin Burks does. He gives us everything he has.
How excited are you with the fact that this is one of the most highly anticipated series in years? All the seats are sold out. General admission is selling out. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, that's what we want, Jeff. We want that every game. And there's just been a lot of people that have put in a ton of work in order for that to happen. When you just think about that, like in the history of the program, a regular season game, right? This is number 3 versus number 4, 2 teams battling not only for the Eastern Division, the overall conference. And that only happens because there's been intentional effort by a lot of people, from our administration to build a stadium like this that, number one, could even hold that many people. The former players that have just put their blood, sweat, and tears into this program, coaches, staff members, previous teams, as I mentioned, the players, this current team. There's just been a lot of people, staff members that have put a lot of intentional effort and work into this. So therefore, I'm excited. And then the big donation for them to be able to show up. And it sounds like they're going to. And we got some great weather, so yeah, that always helps.
Nick, you've talked a lot about being able to score different ways, but is there anything in particular you attribute to this recent power surge to that has been so productive the last couple of weeks?
There's some times early in the year when the weather's colder and the humidity is a lot higher. Sometimes the balls, they just don't carry as well. I will also say, and you guys know this too, as positional players get more at bats, they typically get more comfortable to where maybe it doesn't go the other way. It's like, man, he's gotten so many at bats. Sometimes with pitchers that could happen. They come out hot, and as the year goes on, at times they can their stuff kind of maybe doesn't get as good, or but for a positional player, just the opportunity just to get consistent at bats and to just see all the different off speeds and changeups and sliders and fastballs and the movement profiles, and I just think that helps. And then so with each at bat and each pitch, the guys get more and more experience, and they are really good at collecting information and sharing it with one another. So that part I really believe has helped.
Going off that, Ryan's a guy who got off to one of those slow starts. And I don't know how many straight games it is with the home runs, like 4 or 5, but what's impressed you the most about what Nicholson's doing?
Nicholson he's just so steady in the moment. Like, he has a slow heart rate. I think we've all seen people that during heated competition, I always say they either get 15% better or 15% worse, and he's been able to get better. But his slow heart rate, just even talking to him, it's just like, nice. It's like a calming influence. Even when we do the mound visits, he's just like, man, he just has a steady presence, which is awesome. And it just shows that it can work, because a year ago, you're sitting over there looking at our first baseman. He's like fist bumping with guys on warm up. You know what I mean? But here's a guy with a totally different demeanor, but they both work. And give him a lot of credit. He's always believed in himself. His self-belief is really high. And that is one of my favorite gifts that a player can have, is just their overall belief in themselves. And he certainly has that.
What does Tennessee do well as a team?
Their offense is really good. I think when you look at them statistically, you look at their numbers, whether it's batting average, whether it's doubles, whether it's home runs, they can do a lot of good things. They have some real power, and then their pitchers do a great job of attacking the strike zone. They are just ramming that ball in there with multiple pitches. So it's exactly what you think of with a team that has that kind of record and those kind of stats and what they've been able to do in recent years.
Following up on what John and Aaron were saying, Darren and I were talking, I think you guys talked about it on the air in the pregame. Your players know how to swing in this ballpark to be their most productive. And they're not trying to lift it out of the park, and yet sometimes they do. And then when they go on the road, that translates really well. Well, why is that?
Yeah, so you bring up a good point, but there's a lot of emphasis on our guys just being able to have a good at-bat, right? Just give us a good at-bat. And there are times where in baseball, it's really unfair. You can literally do everything right and not get rewarded. You can work yourself into a really good count. You can get the pitch you're looking for or sitting on. You can absolutely smash it over 100 miles an hour, and literally in less than a second later, you're running back to the dugout and you're out. You're like, really? Like, I literally just put myself in that position. I put myself in a great count. I got the pitch in the spot, in the location I was looking for. I got my barrel right where I wanted. And I literally took one step out of the box and the shortstop already caught it. You're like, that's just not fair. It's not fair, right? And so our guys, their mindset and their ability to understand, it's not just about hits. It's about having really good at-bats and to be able to pass it on to the next guy. I think any time in sports, if you ever feel like you have to be the guy, I have to do it, nobody else can do it, that's a really dangerous place to be. But because the lineup has some length and they understand that, hey, there's some really good hitters behind us, I don't think any one guy feels like they have to do it. So they're just able to just pass it off to the next guy. And when you do that, and you have the ability to maybe lay down a bunt or hit a low line drive or hit a high fly ball for a home run, and you're able to move the ball around, I do believe that gives confidence. So therefore, our guys feel like their plan, their approach, it doesn't matter if we're at KPP, it doesn't matter if we're somewhere else on the road, that they believe that that will work and that will win regardless
That
of the conditions.
said, going into this series, you know how challenging it's gonna be. How important was it for you guys to not only win that game Tuesday, but win it the way you did with everybody contributing both at the plate, on the mound, and the dugout, all that?
Yeah, that's one thing I've really appreciated about this team as a whole is, you know, when you go on a run in a streak and you're doing some of the things we're doing, you're gonna have to win games in different ways. You have to, and you just think about what Wally did on Tuesday, his defense. He impacted the game in so many ways. The diving play down the line, the left field line saved at least 2 runs, who knows, maybe more. The job that he did, I mean, at second base, smashes 2 outs, smashed the ball to right field, and the right fielder's got a cannon, and sure enough, he's been able to beat it. The ball gets away, allows the next guy to get in scoring position, and here we go. It's like he just was able to impact it in a lot of ways, and you know, it's for our team to be able to do that. When you think about some of the games where we've been behind, I think about on last Sunday, we're behind 7-0. And everybody's talking about the offense coming back and doing great things, and I agree. But what about the pitching staff to just go 0-0-0 and just allow the offense to come back? And you think about, so when you think about the defense for such a high level, you think about the pitchers be able to ram it in there and do that, and then offensively, just different ways to win games, I think, continues to build their confidence and show that it doesn't matter how we need to win a game. If it needs to be the 3-1 or 2-0 game or the 17-13, it helps them.
You've been in this program a number of years. Like, what does the Tennessee rivalry mean to you?
Well, obviously, like for me and for the fans, this is like, you know, you want the fans to be excited. That's why they come. Like, you want them to win. That was so awesome on Tuesday night to hear the Go Big Blue and the Go Cats cheers on the road. I mean, that was awesome. That doesn't happen a lot, but they were there and they showed up. So anytime we get an opportunity to make our fans happy, we're trying to do that. And so we understand the importance of this week, really, when you think about all these 4 games, you know, but ultimately you want to do it not only for our program, but allow the fans to have something in the bragging rights. They love that. I mean, Tuesday night, it was crazy, all the stuff going around. So.
What about your players? Do they realize how big a stage this is gonna be this weekend? Yeah?
We don't even talk about it, really. Like, we really don't even talk about it, and I hope you appreciate my transparency. You know, this is a really bright group. I think they're smart. I think they'll love seeing all the fans out here, and, you know, all the pink hats and everything else they got going on, you know. But I think they're wise enough and smart enough. And again, our focus needs to be continue on what we're doing, and that's what made this team so great. It's not on our opponent. It's not anything that's going on outside. It's like when we literally have those blinders on, and I think I'm using another horse. Keelan's still going on, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, there's a reason why those horses have those blinders on, is because they don't need to be distracted, and they need to focus on what's in front of them and not what's going on around them. And that's how I need my team to be. And they're mature. They've done it. But I'll be happy for them. I will say this, to see all the people here and I'll be happy for our players.
Waldy did acknowledge Tuesday that the game there is a little chippy, and he predicted this one could get a little chippy.
Yeah. And if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. But again, I just love when our focus is on our own team and nothing else, you know. So hopefully we'll do a good job keeping them in that mindset.
Did last year's team do a good job of that? Because I know you guys were on this high, right? The 17-game heater, but then had some hiccups in SEC play, right? And you guys haven't had that yet. Some massive challenges coming up. But is there a difference with this group that they haven't had those hiccups yet?
You know, that's interesting you say that, because as a coach, I constantly evaluate what I'm doing. I think as a staff, I think that's what we need to do, right? Like, this game is forever evolving. College athletics is forever evolving. And I don't ever want to get to the spot as a coach where we're doing the same things over and over. Now, obviously, you want to do what works, and you want to have a system and a plan and a process. But I do know every team is different. And for whatever reason, this has been a major focus on this team. And it's helped them, you know. And I thought, if you even remember last year, we went on a really good winning streak. I don't remember, you guys might remember how many games in a row we won. But, you know, there are some times when you think about, I'll use Cal Ripken, for example. his streak. You guys know what he's famous for, right? But if you told Cal Ripken at the beginning of his career, this is what you're going to do, and this is how it's going to work out. Well, for him, at the end, he might be like, man, this is like, how am I going to have to? But if you really said to him, hey, look, here's what you're going to do. Every day you wake up, you're just going to make sure you take care of your body. You're going to make sure you put yourself in a good position, and you're going to go out there and do everything you can to help your team win. And then the next day you're going to wake up and you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to take care of your body. You're going to do everything you can to put your team in a position to win, and you're going to post every day. Well, now that becomes easier, rather than telling him he's going to do this many 1,000 games in a row, right? So like there's the microscope and there's a telescope, you know, but when you just get to that microscope and you just go zzz, and you just focus on that one little thing, well, then it becomes a little easier. And then you just start stacking those days, you know? And I think it's important for people that when they're going good in life and they're going bad too. Like, man, there's been times where you're dealing with people that are struggling with things in their life. And you're like, hey man, look, here's the only thing you got to worry about today is just wake up and let your feet hit the floor. That's like step one. And just like, man, thankful that the good Lord let me wake up today. And then you're going to go to the bathroom and you're going to brush your teeth and brush your teeth. You know, but it's like, you start doing that and it's like, man, it just becomes easier. And it's just like, man, you just put one foot in front of the other, whether it's a good or bad thing going on in your life. And it's just like, when you do that, it just becomes easier as opposed to big picture, you know, so.